My name is Lloyd Young, 12, 25th, 39. It's birthday. Well, when I was a kid, well, that's all we could do is back then was get in trouble, mischief, run and kill a dog, run behind cats and put pan on them. So, yeah, we had some fun time back then. We'd make some toys and on Christmas time we'd get a cap gun and a host and for the horse you had to ride a stick, a broomstick or mop or something. Yeah. Well, because it was the stuff back then. You know, you couldn't just go to Toys R Us and buy that stuff. You know. Yeah. But they had place where they was selling it, but money was funny, you know. So it was hard, but it was fun. We enjoyed it, you know. It made a man out of me.
Where'd you grow up?
In the country, in that garden. Yeah, we'd done a lot of fishing, hunting. Well, like this time of the years, it was fishing time. We'd go fishing and. You know, the school was closed. We go fishing 6 days a week, catch crawfish and fish or whatever.
Would you do that for fun, or would you do that to eat? Like, would you catch it?
Well, it was both fun and eat. We wasn't going to throw them away. That's for sure. Yeah, we wasn't going to throw them away. And like this time of the year too, they have a lot of cucumber and stuff need to be picked, tomatoes and. We'd go pick that and butterbean. You pick butterbean for I believe 35 cents a bushel, and it take you about 4 hours to pick a bushel of butterbean. Thai and vegetable was different. It was what? Some was paying $10, 10 cents a dozen to Thai. Some was 15, but you could make a little money on Thai because you know I used Thai, but. 85, 90 dozen a day, you know, it take all day, but you make a little money, basically.
So when you got money, what would you do with it?
Well, you take care of your needs. Maybe you need a pair of tennis. You want a pair of tennis or something, you know, you go on and buy that and get people to go to the movie, so, you know, whatever. Buy your new fishing line and yeah. It was where to spend it now. It's just to make it, then you spend it. Yeah.
So that was what you do during the week. So on Sundays, would you go to church?
You go to church. You go to church. You couldn't say you ain't going to church. Forget that. You going to church, and go to church after church. Then you go play baseball or go watch a baseball game or something. Yeah. What else you could do? Yeah, playing football, baseball. Didn't play too much basketball, but when the season come around, you know, you had to do something. Didn't have all the modern toys like we got now, you know. You see, like you take that machine cutting grass. That's having fun now. You see, we had the push machine with the, you know, the mowing. Yeah, just be sweating. And,
so what kind of chores then would you have to do around the house to keep up everyone had to do their part, right?
Yeah. It wasn't bad because we had to keep the grass cut, you know, and it wasn't bad at all because we wouldn't do no like now, you know, cooking and all that. My grandmother would do that. She would cook. And all we'd do is just go to the park when we wasn't fishing and play ball and tell lies.
So tell me about your family then. So you are, where do you fall in line in the family? You have 2 brothers and
Yeah, it was 3 brothers and 1 sister. The sister who passed first, my sister Audrey, And my brother, you know, bro, you met brother. He got killed in his trailer. They never did figure out what happened because he was burning a butane tank with that petroleum, whatever they call it. And they say it explodes, but he was just careless, brother. He just might have just turned that thing on, forgot about it, and waited on, lit on, light a match, and it just blew up. And he got that took him out.
You have nicknames for all your brothers, but what are their real names? So you have Bruh. What's his real name?
Edward Young.
And what's Skinny's name?
Sidney Young Jr.
And what was your nickname?
Audrey.
And what was your nickname? Did you have a nickname?
Cat.
Cat?
Yeah, they called me Cat because I was big and fast, hitting a minute.
Did you run track at all?
I played football. Now, my brother Sidney, he ran track. He won a lot of medal at Sycamore. It's West St. John now. You know, they moved to school. Well, you know, back then, it was Edgar High was for the white. St. John, West St. John was for the black. And he used to run for us. He won a lot of medals because he used to have that May Day. They don't have that no more. He used to have, you know, 1st of May and May Day. A lot of sport. And, you know.
So you played football. Did you play it in high school too? Did you play football in high school?
Yeah.
What would you play?
Everything but quarterback. I didn't quarterback, but I prefer playing defense. Boy, it hit me. Oh, that was some days. Me and Nelson, because Nelson would play left guard, and I played a lot of left tackle, and we crisscrossed and used to get a bang out of that.
So how good were you at football? Did anyone notice you get you?
Yeah, I was pretty good. Yeah, well, it was like a police. Her, grandma, and grandpa has. We see my mom was real sick. You see, and we were staying with my grandmother and back up in the 40s. They practically raised us because Dad was out doing his thing, you know. And he died in Charity Hospital, and my aunt, her and the woman he was staying with, my aunt told her to keep the insurance money. He had his insurance, and let us bury him. You know, me and my brother and sister. And it almost started a war. I told you throw him behind the lever if you want, for far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't spend a dime on him. He didn't spend none on me. Oh, no. Well, it never was my mind, you know, to leave when she was sick. Yet had to get closer because, you know, she needed help. And Gwen was you know the kind of person she was, you know, easy going and everything. But he was less than a man from far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I started working at 17. Started working for American Tile in Terrazzo. I left school in 12th grade. I started working, got a trade, and done pretty good at it. Yeah, I worked for American. After I left American, I went to work for Roman Terrazzo and Rezan. Left them and went for Denon. Left Denon and went to DNL. And who else I went to work for? And then I went to work for Charters. That's where I retired from Charters. Well, you see, what it was is it was skill. If you really know the work, the guys will give you more money to come work for them, you know, and leave the other one on. Well, I went for the highest bidder. But Denon was one of the best. Denon and Charters, that was the two best company. The worst one was DNL. You know, he Pete DePaul. He had those guys scared of him. You know, he's a big dude and come there and he gonna talk to you any kind of way. And you, Mr. Pete, you call me Lloyd, huh? Yeah, I'll call you Pete. And well, he know I was good, and he tell me he had to get me away from them guys, because when he started raising sand with them, he'd be like a little children. And I just bust out laughing. I just laughed. They got mad with me. I'm crazy. Not me, I ain't crazy. I said, yeah. The man wants you to start working at 6:45 and work till 3:30 on the money, or 3:45. In other words, you're going to give him a little better than a half an hour every day. And he really wanted, and they were doing it. And his partner come and tell me, but Mr. Pete said you're a good worker, but you don't want to give him no time. I said, what? If I give him my time, what am I going to get? And he said, well, he going to talk to you. He came talk to me, you know, tell me what he want start at 20 minutes, 15 minutes to the hour, and work about 10, 15 minutes after. I said, well, you're going to pay me a half an hour? No, 8 hours. I said, well, I'm not going to do it. How you not going to do it? You work for me, you're going to do it. I said, no, you can pay me now. He said, no, I ain't going to pay you. But what he done is, when you get off at 3 o'clock on Friday, he will keep the check until 5 o'clock when he get off. You know, and them guys just sit there like little children. I went there and asked for mine. You can't wait for it. I said, no, I can't. I want my money. He said, well, I ain't going to give it to you till I get the rest of the money at 5 o'clock. I said, well, you keep it. I know who's going to get it for me. Now, walking out the door, he ran out there. Here, I'm going to give you your money. Okay, you smart. You know too much. I said, I don't know too much. That's what they got law for. You man and work 5 days and you going to just hold his money. We was working for Eddie DeFran. That was in the summertime after school. You know, when he was tearing down some building on Chapatula Street. And that just minimum wage had just got up to $1.25, I think it was. But he didn't want to pay $1.25. He would pay some guy 75 cents, 80. Yeah. And Henry Tuga took care of that. Got them people, and he got mad. He had to pay us a lot of back pay. And guy came over there and I said, how long you been working and how long that been going on? And told him and shit. Well, with Pete DePaul, the same thing. But what he done, he was he was doing the same. He wasn't paying this overtime. You know, the over 40 hours. You wouldn't. And he had to pay a lot of money back, and he was crying and talking about that shit. And a few of them guys, he paid him the money, tell him to go carry the check, and bring him the money back. You know some fool did that? I said, Lord, I'm gonna get away from y'all.
What type of places did you travel?
Shiku, China, Hong Kong, Japan, New York, Philadelphia, that shipyard out there, Navy base. And see, I was a troubleshooter. And when the boat that was being built in Louisiana, over by Avondale, the Navy ship, and it would go different places. And the rigs that were being built in Morgan City at McDermott, they would go different places. And if anything happened before the warranty was up, they had to go, no matter where it's at, they had to send somebody to fix them. and they had to send somebody who knew what they were doing. So I did that a long time until about a year before I got ready to retire. That's and I started working around the warehouse and go out when they had problem. When Katrina, I was planning on going back and clean the house out, gut it out, and put a sheetrock and fix everything up. Well, we went over there and looked at it. Everything was upset. The wall had mold even in the ceiling. Everything in there was a total loss. Everything. So we couldn't move, and they had nowhere to move into New Orleans. So that's when we rented that apartment, and we stayed there until the week before Christmas, I think it was. And, we didn't have a choice because the insurance we was in, they wasn't going to carry. They was going to finish carrying us through 06. But when 07 came in, we had to get more insurance, and we tried to find some in Atlanta. Your daddy looked all over. Only Wayne looked too and see if he couldn't find none as good as the one we had, because Gwen had to go to the hospital regularly, So Wayne found me an apartment on the bayou in Bayou St. John. And so we rented that for 7 months, I think it was, something like that. That's how long it took to build that house, what we had now. And that was it. I got along well with him. Papa bought me a quarter beer, and everybody was shocked. See, Papa didn't do that. He was straight. He was straight, man. See, when me and Gwen was going together, Elizabeth told Gladys some stuff, about we had bought that. I just got that house. That was in the last part of '70, because. Well, Gwen and Tyree, when they broke up, Tyree took the house and sold the house and everything and left it. And she told Gladys and them at that choir rehearsal, she made an announcement that I better not do like Tyree. I went over there in front of Papa and Mama, and I told her, I'm a man. You talking all that old fooling, you ought to go and get yourself a man. That's what you need, yeah. I blessed her real good, and she just stood up there with her mouth gap wide open. But I guess she figured I wasn't going to say nothing. Or Gwen, she didn't say nothing. Gwen was quiet,
How'd you meet my grandmother?
Through Gladys. You see, they had a club, Gladys and Gwen and Marie. A lot of the ladies, and
Who's Gladys?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Gladys?
Gladys, Nelson's wife.
Nelson. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nelson's your best friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gladys told me that she told Gwen that she wanted Gwen to meet me or meet a guy, and Gwen said yeah, and she told me. I said I ain't got nobody, might as well. So we was out, me and Nelson. We went somewhere, but we was in Lutcher. And they had a meeting by his house. They was meeting. And he said, Gladys said she wants you to meet Gwen. He said, let's go. That's a good time for you to meet her. So we bought some beer and we left. We went down there. After the meeting, Gladys introduced me to her, and we talked, and I asked out, and she said, yeah, we went out, and we hit it off, and it was on then, so, yeah, we had some fun together.
kind of stuff did you guys do for fun when you were dating? And
We'd go out, you know, then go to different people, you know. When we'd go by my mama, you know, what is that?
so your mom liked Mama?
Yeah, yes, indeed. Yeah. I know.
And how'd you win over my mom and Papa?
Well, you know, just being a man, you know, you know, I tell you where I'm coming from, and if you want to act crazy, I can act crazier. So, yeah, Papa bought me a quart of beer. It was shock. That shocked him. Papa ain't never bought nobody, no man, no beer. You know what I'm saying? And Papa used to like catfish. We used to catch them big old catfish. And he had them catfish. He cleaned them for him and everything.
So what was it about Mama that you liked that attracted you to her and that made you want to keep going out with her and stuff like that?
Well, she was real, you know. She was just real. You say what was on her mind, and you know, we could speak our piece and then tell it like it is, you know. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about my father Brian and my Uncle Wayne.
Oh boy,
raising those two.
Kitty bought it though. Them two boys was a trip.
They could eat now.
Yeah. Woo, good to eat. There were 4 of us, and we had to get a cow. I used to get a cow once a month or once every 3 weeks, something like that. And now, they don't eat that much. They been stopped eating that much.
It's because they're paying for it now.
That's it. Yeah. But I didn't have no trouble with them boys. You know, they respect me, and I respect them. And you see the way we get along.
How many hours did you work every day and coming out and?
It was, you know, I was doing work for myself too. I was averaging about 16 a day. But whenever I had, you know, like work weekend and everything, when I'd have a Sunday off and get Carissa, let's go take the ride, Papa. Let's go take the ride. And we jump in the car and we go. Me, her, and Carissa. Yeah, and Carissa would walk about a block or two when it gets so far. Then she throw up her hand coming back. That girl was something. But every free time I had, we'd go get her on Sunday. And we went to telling about them cow and stuff. Yeah.
You like to cook for your grandchildren too. You cook a lot, huh?
Yeah, I'd cook. I'd cook. Them 2 boys, boys to mop it up too. Oh yeah, I love to garden.
What kind of stuff do you have?
I just like to see it grow. You know, I've been picking tomatoes. I picked some yesterday. And I ate yesterday. I fixed a salad with maybe 6 or 7 tomatoes, 1 cucumber, a bunch of lettuce, 1 avocado, 1 jalapeno pepper. Girl, the jalapeno pepper was so hot, I had to pick them out. I had to pick them out of there. Whoo! Things had me smoking. I was sweating. You know. That boy told me them pepper was hot like that last year because I gave him some Theron, and he put them in when he boiling seafood, and he put them in there. And his son, he liked to eat them. He said his son was eating them thing and sweating.
So you had Brian and Wayne, and then what were your kids you had?
Tara, Eleanor, and Darren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we wasn't real close. because me and Eleanor was closer than Sarah, because you see his mama, she thought she could do just like what she want, and I had to take it. I had just built a house out there, and she thought that she was gonna stay down here in New Orleans and come out there just on every other weekend. When she get paid down here, she stay. And then when she don't get paid, then she come and get mine. So she got food. I went there for when it was a Wednesday, I think it was. And she clowning, talking all that foolishness. I left and I went to sit by a bar. I used to go to. It's about a quarter beer, 55 cents. I drank up a 3/4 beer and I said, I'm going to the country. I went to the country. And I had a football game that Friday. And I went to that football game. And I met a lady and we started talking. Kitty bought the door. Then she come back crying and all that, but I was wrong and all that. No, you were wrong. You were right. You didn't think I was going to stay there just because I built a house. My brother got the house now. You ever been there? Yeah, well, he didn't add on to it. But I gave it to him. Because that house, it cost me $5,000 to build it. That lot cost me $200. And the bank, they had a sale for it for $17,000. And she wanted, after pay the bank, we come out with $9,000, something like that. After the expense, no, she wanted $9,000. I was gonna wind up with 2 or 3, something like that. I did and when she signed them paper, and she thought it was gonna be like he's keeping a house like and she gonna use it like a summer house, And that man at the bank, the banker, the president was there, the lawyer. And there are a couple of tellers there. Cause they just started opening on Saturday. And he told her no, turn it to him. That's gonna be his house. And he called me back in his office and told me that if my brother don't pay for it, I had to pay for it. He said I'm not gonna tell him that, but didn't have no trouble. That's what it was about. We sometimes we didn't have some money. Sometimes a bottle of wine was 40 cents, and we didn't have 40 cents to buy a bottle. And let's see, there was one of the wine I believe was 20 cents. We couldn't come up with 10 cent a piece. Now, that was tough. That was tough. But we made it.
What was Christmas like at your house? How did you celebrate? Well, it was your birthday, too.
Yeah. Well, it was nice. We had a nice time. We just, like I said, we'd get it, like children get a bunch of toys. You got one toy. If you got a cap pistol and a gun, cap pistol and that satchel, that was it. That was ball games over. And I got a bike. Well, I worked for that bike because I was delivering paper. I had a route. It was 1, 2, about 2.5, 3 miles, something like that, from Pierretown to Cherry Lane. And sometimes cold and stuff on that bike. Oh boy, I made it. You know, when me and Nelson, we used to go on vacation. Me, Nelson, Gwen, Gloria, and MC. I believe Warren came a couple of times with us too. Him and Augustine. And the boys from Detroit. All of them, they all dead now, but two. Bridget and I forgot his name of the guy. There's the only two still living. We used to go out we'd meet in Florida. At that time, they didn't have no cruise ship in New Orleans. We used to go to fly to Fort Lauderdale, and the bus would pick us up there and take us to Miami. We'd take the boat there. And we'd go out and, on the ship, 7 days, and go to different islands. We had fun. We really had fun doing that, going to Jamaica and all them different places.
You had to work for it first. Huh?
Hmm?
You had to work for it first.
Yeah, that's what I say. Time bring about a change. Because that was I met Gwen in 1970. Because I was making money then, working for the company. And like I tell you, if this one wanted to say, "Cat, give you 25 cents more." You're on. I'm gone. They get mad, but I didn't care. But you could do that when you know what you're doing. You see, because you always got somebody wants you. That's how I worked for so many companies. When I could run any kind of machine, they had that. And they had that. You see that terrazzo would go up crawl up on the wall. Everybody can't grind that. In New Orleans, it wasn't but 3 of us do that. Me, Sidney, and Hall. And Sidney was what? Sidney was what? 10 years older than me. And Hall was about 10 years older than Sidney. So I was the youngest one. And what they did do it'd take them 2-3 days. I'd do it in a few hours. Tripped me out was in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We was doing that. There's a Sears Roebuck, I think it was, and that the supervisor. Well, he had a lot of black guys working for me. He's addressing them as boy and all that. I had a problem, and I went and I told him about it. And, well, we're gonna see about that, boy. And I said, Lord, and my head got big like that, man. But I took it to sit out there a whole week. I didn't sit nothing. I said, but I'm waiting for him, because after I finished grinding that, when you finish grinding, you get the inspector, the architect, and the superintendent. And when after they sign off on that thing, and I told him, I thank you for signing off that paper, boy. I said, Lord, that man got to walk. Then them colored guy who had working for him, he said, Lord, man, you ain't from here. I said, no, I'm not from here. I said, I was just waiting. He called the shop and told them people I sassy. And when I got to the shop, they tell me, you can't sassy our customer. I said, sassy who? And he called that guy named Superintendent, because you see, he was really hot because I did that in front of that architect. And after I explained to them what went down, they called the architect and told him, and the architect said I should have cracked him, And I told him, I said, That man called me boy for 5 days, and I got him back. That's what he. He said, you should have hit him. I said, no, I don't want to hit him. Get in trouble. Yeah, we had a few like that. You get in trouble with. That guy I told you, Pete, that was another one. He's a racist. Yeah, and I had one, Mike Tusa. He was he was a boss that didn't know nothing, and you couldn't tell him nothing. He got warm with me. Well, he was warm with me because we was working out in wrestling, and was putting a deck on aluminum, and I was the most experienced man out there, and so I told him, I said, Mike, you got to put prime that deck. Because if you don't put that surface seal on it, that stuff gonna peel up. And the white man, the guy we were doing the work for, he was right there. And Mike, well, he liked the thing. I said, pull it. I'm the boss. So who the boss? I said, you the boss. Well, I said, pull it. I said, you want to pull it, huh? I said, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I told her slick. I said, lock and load. We pulled that whole deck. We went back there the next day. And you ever seen an old man with a fit thing just crumble up his face? Just crumble up. I laughed so much. Now you won't get mad with me. And I told Phil, I said, if you think I'm lying, he called that guy that what we done there for night. He got to take all that stuff off. Got to sand that deck, put surface seal, and put it on there. He was hot with me. He stayed hot with me for the longest. Because he raised hell, he cursed me out. One morning, the boy was doing the Delta Queen, putting the deck on the Delta Queen. And the boy they did was hauling, bringing the material. They set the material right in the door. And in the summertime it rained every day, just like it'd be nice out there. It rain. And I told him that material got wet out there. Yeah. Ooh. Mike raised up, Joe, how is that? And cursed me out. I said, hey, slow down. I said, I've cracked man for less than that. You respect me. And then he shut up and I said, no, keep on, keep talking. I said, if I don't hit you, grits ain't grocery. He said, and Gyro told him, he said, Mike, that man that plan on a man to hit you. I said, let him keep running his head. And I told Phil what happened. And I said, he was right there when I told Phil. I said, he mad because of that deck. I said, now, you see that? You spend money twice on that. You lost money when we put it down on the material. You have to pay us traveling time. He said, yeah. He said, Mike, did he tell you that? Mike said, he just paused and everything. I said, oh, don't ask him. I said, call that man up out there. Man will tell you. I went back out there, I told that man called the shop and told him too. He said, yeah. That big guy told him. He told him that he the boss. They didn't make a nickel on that job. In 71, 72 or something like that. I just started working for charters. And I said, well, the Lord done blessed me. I got a good job. At least I can give him some time. And I joined church over at, it wasn't Greater St. Stephen, it was St. John Divine with Holland Wolf, the Reverend Smith. That man was something else. Brian and them we used to follow him around. I really worked in church. I done more work over at St. Stephen than I did over at St. John Divine, because you see the pastor at St. Stephen was Reverend Simpson. they needed they wanted to have a Boy Scout troop or whatever, so and they couldn't find nobody to take over the troop. So Robert, he was over the Cub Scout, and asked me would I come and talk to him and see if I wanted to be the Boy Scout troop. So I took it, and I had to go to training and all that, and I got Nelson in as my assistant, and me and Nelson and Rev, they had this school bus, a big bus they had. It was like a school bus, and we would take those boys all over. Yeah. And with Rev, it was different. You know, it was different from over at Greater St. Stephen than it was over at St. John Divine, because at St. John, see, Reverend Smith was the kind of guy he think he know everything. You can't tell him nothing. He get up there in the pulpit, preaching, hollering, screaming, and everything. Tell you, I know I'm right. You know, ain't nobody right all the time. You know, we would be right. They wouldn't put the erase on a pencil. But that's the way he was. That's why he got rid of him over there. And man, he was a trip.
When did you get saved? When was that?
It was in 1970. Over at before I went to St. Stephen. You see, when I went to St. Stephen, we had a meeting on a Saturday evening, and we'll go catch a couple of hamper of crab and boil them for them kids. And had the mamas and the grandma and everybody coming out there eating them crab. And see, we did that for a long. We took them boys to Astro World. And we took them in Mississippi somewhere. Wayne was a scout. Your daddy, he was he ain't had time for that. Him and Christ Elite and them preachers and hollering and screaming. My pastor now, you know, Reverend Tillman, you heard him preach for the funeral. He hollering and screaming, and y'all didn't notice it? You know, I told my brother I'm about to get some earplug. But he's a nice guy and everything, but he just got that mic and he's screaming in it, you know, and he's not the only one. He got the assistant. He's just screaming, hollering that too. Oh, it give you a headache.
So what's important to you then in a preacher or in any Christian, you think, what's important is in that?
The word, you know, be sincere. You know, you don't but say one thing and do something else. You see, that's and believe you me, I know a whole bunch of them croak. And well, I just see it from around them now. You know, like Smith, he get kicked out the church. You went to another church, maybe you got 3 or 4 members. I just say, do what I gotta do. You know, preacher ain't gonna save you. You know, you gotta pray for yourself. You know, so yeah.
So what kind of advice then? So you got, you know, may have great grandchildren watching this, and of course your grandchildren will be watching this. What advice would you give to them? I know you talked about, you know, how to be a man, how to be honest, how to be sincere, stuff like that. What kind of advice do you live by, and what would you pass on to us?
You stand by your word. You know, if you're right, you know you're right. You ain't got to hoop and holler or fight on nobody or nothing. He said, I say I believe I'm right. You say I'm wrong. All right, well, that's your belief. You know, you got a mind. That's what your mind say. I ain't gonna fight you, but don't come worry me, because you will get cracked. In the country, at a church out there, a little further up from our church. But 3 weeks ago, the preacher, he was going, but three, maybe a little better than 3. Going with one of them lady up there and his wife. They had a humbug up there. They start fighting and cutting up. And his daddy, he's a preacher. So they said what they're going to do, they was going to give him 2 months off to cool off. Can you believe that? Then he didn't get too much because his anniversary came up and they had his anniversary and everything. Nah. She's still at the church. He's still there. I said, well, what you think it is? You think they're going to stop? They got slicker now. Y'all caught him doing it. Ain't going to catch him no more. No, not doing that. I tell you. Yeah, people is something else, and you're going to get there, hoop and holler and scream on Sunday and tell me what to do. And what you telling me not to do, you doing a whole bunch of it.
Doing what you say you're going to do is very important to you, being honest.
Yeah, be honest, and tell it like it is. Don't sugarcoat nothing. If it's black, it's black. It's white, it's white. Now, you see it's something else. I'm seeing what it is now. Because don't try to change my mind. Because what happens is it'll cause confusion. You see, like me, I don't like to argue. I don't argue. I tell you like it is, and you keep on. I'll hit you, So that's it.
But who was someone you really looked up to and who you learned a lot from?
My grandfather and a guy named Joe Sylvain, Norris Johnson. Norris, was, you didn't know my Aunt Rosa. That was her husband. He was a straight guy. Learned a lot from Norris. And his brother, he was a preacher. He was crooked as a barrel of snake. And so I stayed away from him because, you see, I know me. You see, if you know yourself, you can avoid a lot of stuff. If you go somewhere and you know the guy lying, he doing everything crooked and trying to tell you something. You stay there, you might hurt him. So just ease away. Go away. And they ask you, well, why? Why? Listen, you can't tell me nothing. No, he was something else.
Would your grandfather teach you? What kind of stuff? Like, who taught you how to fish and garden and cook and all that?
My grandfather, my grandmother. You see, and they had a guy, he used to work the Silatex, Big George, and he didn't have no wife. And he used to drink that wine and try to cook, and he's cooking all kind of slop. And I started fixing him food, then I got better as it went on, Yeah, but, and his buddy was another old guy. That was good old dudes, they tell you like it is, and you don't try to mess with them. You sit there and listen, and you learn something, He used to drink that wine and do up some talking. And Dovik was real old, because his name was David McCaddy. That's what his name was. And we used to call him that, David McCaddy. He said, used to be. I'll never forget him. And him and his wife, Miss Caroline. She was real nice too. The old people back then, would tell you something, and it was it was like gospel. They wouldn't steer you wrong, and if they see you doing wrong, they chastise you, tell you, I'm gonna tell your mama, and they're gonna tell too, and you're gonna get it too. So, what? And Joe Sylvan, he was a farmer. I worked with him a long time. The tomatoes and snap bean and bell pepper, parsley. He raised a whole lot of different stuff because he used to sell that stuff to A&P. You remember A&P? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You ain't nothing but a British sprout. Yeah, we used to tie the turnip up and mustard and stuff like that. And when he go in the A&P, you have to pack them in a box, a dozen to a box. And when he had, say if he had to bring them 100 or 150, and you got 200, and once he unload at A&P, and you go to the French market. The French market was different from what it is now. He had these big trucks, he had all them different vegetables. Truck from Alabama used to come in there with a truckload of watermelon. You could make you some nice money, because now they put them watermelon in them cardboard box. But at that time, they would load them and they throw them one to the, just pass them one at a time. Yeah.
So how'd you learn how then? So you were a good worker and you were very skilled with like laying floors and all that. Where'd you learn how to do that?
On the job training. See, well, once I left school, I had to do something, and go and work in the field. It just wasn't gonna cut it. So I got into terrazzo, and working with them guys with terrazzo, I learned everything I could. I asked all kind of questions, and then in about 2 or 3 weeks, I was running the machine, and if people see you want to learn, and you try and advance yourself. That's the way Bruno was, and then with him it was a no-brainer. But they still didn't want to give you the right amount of money. When I be a mechanic, we was working in 2110 Common Street, at 1010 Common Street. Me, Frank, Gator, and another guy from Alabama somewhere. Me and Frank would put mud on the wall. They don't do that no more. You put that mud on the wall for tile. And we pull it, Frank would put the strip. I'm coming filling in. And Gator, well, he was with the union. He was, Gator was a business manager. Yeah, it was before Smith. Mm-hmm. And he telling me, but don't do that. I said, well, how am I learn if I don't do that? And then, it wasn't a week. I mean, Frank was fair. And he went in there because he had a share in American Tile at Terrazzo. And he told Bruno that, you gotta give Young more money. Man, he make mud just like me, bull mud. And Frank, Bruno, he kind of mumbled, but it was on my check the next week. If you know what you gotta do, you just do what you gotta do. That's it. Me and Nelson, we've been friends for we don't know how long we've been friends. And we would argue. We had a club. We still have that club, the Fishing 15. And we'll get there. Me and him, he's the vice president, I'm the president now. And it's gone just as smooth, but before, they would argue and all that stuff. And it just was right. But when we started arguing, nobody may get in there because he said Warren was saying, "You see, y'all gonna act like y'all gonna fight, and when meeting over, y'all two gonna drink." He was right. We go and stop and go in and get us a couple of beer. You see, Nelson used to live about a half a mile from me, and we walk to one another's house. We go fishing. We had to walk a couple of miles either way. If we go on Columbia Canal, we had to walk a mile to the track, half a mile on the track. Once you get there, then you can walk a mile or 2 miles back on the canal. But you're young, nothing but a step for a stepper. And going to Company Canal was the same thing. And we used to catch crawfish. We ain't had no bait. We killed snake. And crawfish eat them snake too. Yeah, he's like maybe y'all ain't heard about that guy in what's the name of that little town? Well, anyhow, he had some trout line, he catching catfish with that. And the day before yesterday, he caught a alligator snapping turtle. And he cleaned the thing, getting ready to, got them and everything. And he found a finger in the intestine. And they called the police. They've been trying to find out who finger that was. They didn't call the hospital and everything in Slidell and all around there. Nobody ain't been there without a finger. Now they're searching the pond and all that stuff where he had that line. Because the wildlife and fisherman said that snapping turtle don't go far from, don't do no wrong, he's still right in the same area. Like you just figure, man done lost a finger. No, they're still searching. Maybe now they had to find out where.
Oh, I did want to hear the story about those cats on your car and how you took care of them.
Oh, I'll fix them up.
So go back to the beginning about how the cats were messing up your car.
Yeah, that's where they go and they sit right on top of the car, take care of business and everything. I thin them out. If you fix some of that antifreeze, they don't make that kind of antifreeze no more. You mix that antifreeze and you just put it out there, and they Caesar told me, Mr. Young, somebody killing them cat. I said, you kidding, Caesar? Yeah, man, they're dying all under them bushes and everywhere else. But them cat was something. After that, they got rid of most of them cat. The guy next to him, Brown, you remember Brown was staying right next, you don't remember when we were staying on Mandolin Street. Maybe you remember a little bit.
I don't remember all your neighbors. I remember Caesar, but I don't remember.
Yeah. And after about tending them cat out, and Brian got 2 dogs, they bark all night long. I said, well, I'm going to hook them up. So I got 2 plates. And Gwen was take these to change Gwen medicine and, get all that stuff. So she had a whole bunch of medicine that wasn't, she wasn't taking no more because they changed it. So I took my time and I beat that stuff fine and fixed a plate, nice plate with. It was a good one. What it was, bean or something and meat. And I said, here, 1 for you. Yeah, I just reach over the fence and put it there. 1 for you, 1 for you. They ate it. Then they did woof, woof. They had no voice. Brian told somebody didn't poison his dog or something, give him something. I said, yeah, Brian, well, you know them dogs bark all night. See people working around here and them dogs just keep barking. I said, yeah. But I guess they did give him something. Gee. The next day, them dogs was gone. Yeah. Well, I said somebody killed my dog. Well, I had to do it to him.
So then you deal with telemarketers. How do you deal with telemarketers when they call you? The people trying to sell you stuff on the phone, how do you deal with them?
I got a whistle. Yeah, you see that whistle I got it better for. One lady told me I ought to be ashamed. You hating people, you ought to be ashamed, mister. You ought to be ashamed. Say shame what y'all just calling worrying me about this and that. That ain't that. Just stop calling too.
I'm asking you who your favorite grandchild is.
All right, my favorite grandchild. They got Carissa, Iris. Who after Iris? Valerie.
Daniel.
Daniel.
And Valerie.
Valerie. Jennifer. Allison. Hannah. I love them all. I love them all. Yes.
What's your favorite thing to do with your grandchildren? What do you like to do best with your grandchildren?
Yeah, just being with y'all. I just enjoy being with y'all. It's your ways and you're always the same. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not me, so that is a little. I'm not your favorite, but that's okay because we know Papa loves us equally.
Yep.
Loves us all equally.
Yep.